Well, folks, the 2024 election was about as fun for Democrats as a root canal performed by a mime. It was silent, excruciating, and by the end we all felt like we were wearing too much makeup. The presidential race went to Trump again. He snagged 312 electoral votes to Kamala Harris's 226. The House and the Senate, also awash in Republican red. It wasn't just a defeat, it was a full-blown electoral colonoscopy. Not pleasant, folks, not pleasant at all. The Democrats went into 2024 hoping for a repeat of 2020's massive voter turnout. They didn't get it. It's like showing up to a potluck and finding out everyone else brought chips and salsa, and you brought a handcrafted 7-layer dip that took 6 hours to make. Sure, yours is objectively better, but no one's eating it. This wasn't just a loss, it was a system failure. The Democrats need to figure out what went wrong and how to fix it, preferably before the next election turns into another rendition of "Everything is Awesome," sung by a chorus of Republican tortoises, slowly but surely outrunning Democratic hares. One word: turnout, or rather, lack thereof. Democrats banked on a surge of voters energized to keep Trump away from the nuclear codes, again. But that surge became more of a gentle ripple. Especially in those all-important swing states, it seems like Democratic voters decided that staying home to binge-watch The Great British Baking Show was more appealing than saving democracy. Look, I get it. Voting can be about as exciting as watching paint dry on C-SPAN. But here's the thing. Not voting has consequences, and those consequences usually involve more Republicans in power. The Democrats need to understand why their voters stayed home. Were they complacent, disillusioned, or did they just forget? Whatever the reason, the Democrats need to light a fire under their base and remind them that democracy isn't a spectator sport. You can't complain about the results if you don't participate in the game. Unless you're a Green Bay Packers fan, then complaining is practically a religion. Let's talk about the economy. Specifically, the fact that for many Americans, the economy was about as appealing as a week-old gas station sushi platter. Inflation was up, job security was down, and everyone felt like they were stuck on a financial roller coaster designed by a sadist. Now, I'm not saying the Democrats were solely responsible for the economic woes, but trying to convince voters that things were actually pretty good was like trying to convince a cat to take a bath messy, stressful, and ultimately pointless. The Republicans, on the other hand, hammered home the economic anxiety. They offered simple, if unrealistic, solutions like blaming everything on immigrants and promising to bring back coal mining jobs via carrier pigeon. The Democrats need to offer bold, clear solutions to the economic challenges facing everyday Americans. And they need to do it in a way that doesn't require a PhD in economics to understand. Because when people are worried about putting food on the table, they're less likely to care about your nuanced arguments about fiscal responsibility. Here's a newsflash. People don't like being lectured to, especially when that lecture is about how they're wrong, and need to vote for you to fix the mess they helped create. Yet, that's exactly what the Democrats did. They crafted messages so full of jargon and inside-the-beltway speak, it's a miracle anyone understood them. Instead of connecting with voters on an emotional level, the Democrats relied on wonky policy papers and condescending explanations. They talked about intersectionality and systemic racism while voters worried about rising grocery bills and their kids' education. Look, these are important issues, but the Democrats need to meet voters where they are, not where they think they should be. It's like trying to sell vegan burgers at a Texas barbecue competition. You might have a great product, but you're not speaking the language of your audience. While the Democrats were busy writing lengthy position papers and patting themselves on the back for their wokeness, the Republicans were busy doing what they do best, mobilizing their base. They knocked on doors, made phone calls, and spread misinformation like it was going out of style, which, sadly, it never seems to do. The Republicans understood something the Democrats seem to have forgotten. Elections are won and lost on the ground, not on Twitter. They built a well-oiled machine fueled by fear, anger, and a healthy dose of good old-fashioned American resentment. The Democrats need to take a page from the Republican playbook and build their own ground game. They need to invest in local organizing, train volunteers, and most importantly, show up, because you can't win an election if you're not even in the game. If you like this video and want to see more future videos, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out.